There are so many reasons that we might move to the cloud, and certainly one of those reasons is the AWS global infrastructure. We love the idea that thanks to Amazon Web Service facilities all over the globe, we can move resources right to the global markets that we want to service so that users can access our resources of the cloud very, very quickly. If we need a web server in France, no problem. If we need an application server in Oregon, no issue, thanks to the global infrastructure. Something else that we love is the fact that we can have great fault tolerance. If there is a part of the world that is unfortunately experiencing some kind of environmental problem, we can service our clients from another region of the world that's unaffected. So here's how the global infrastructure is actually structured. Let's take Oregon, for example. There is a region called Oregon. So the first component that we have is a region. Notice this is a geographical area. There's a region in the United States called North Virginia. This is one of the first, might even be the very first region they created. So there's two regions. Inside of these regions, we have what are called AZs, or availability zones. And this is something that we can leverage for fault tolerance right within a region. So we could locate resources here, and they would be separated by a good distance, and they would be using separate data center facilities. So we can have the high availability and the fault tolerance that we want, like I said, right within a region. As you might guess, all of this stuff is connected with high-speed, fault-tolerant links. So there's going to be great connectivity between these global infrastructure components of Amazon Web Services. Now, something else that we have, in addition to regions and availability zones, is we have edge locations. So let me label that edge locations. And what these are for is these are for delivering content out to the users that are near that region, or they could be all the way across the globe, but ideally they're fairly close to that region. It's for delivering content to them at a very high speed. Edge locations work with a specific service called, if I can spell it right, CloudFront. So CloudFront enables us to park or cache data inside of it and deliver it really, really fast via edge locations out to the users that want to consume that data. So when you think the global infrastructure, you think of a region, and then inside of that region, you think about availability zones, and then you can even think about edge locations. You don't have to use edge locations. This would be considered an optional add-on for your use of the global infrastructure along with CloudFront. But these are the three main components: the region, the AZ, and the edge location. If you're interested in certification, you would need to know what each of those components is. When you're in the web console, the management console for Amazon Web Services, notice there's a drop-down right up at the top that allows you to switch regions very easily with the click of a mouse. And when you are building your services inside of Amazon Web Services, so let me go into the EC2 service, and let's pretend that we're going to launch an instance, and we'll just choose this Amazon Linux instance type, and then go and choose the T2 micro type and say we want to configure the instance details. Notice that one of the things that we're able to do is place this resource in a particular subnet, and that subnet is going to be located in a certain availability zone. So right here I have subnet BF401DD6, and notice it is in an availability zone called US East 2A. This is the Ohio area, the Ohio region, that's called US East 2, and then they just tacked on an A for that availability zone. It looks like there's three availability zones in the Ohio region. There's A, there's B, and there's C. So that's how easy it's going to be to take advantage of placement of resources inside of these availability zones. I know. Availability zones and all this is super interesting, and you're probably going to want to learn more about it. And I've got a great place for you to do that. If you go up to my blog, ajsnetworking.com, and you scroll down here, there's the ability to search. So I'm going to search on the word global. And I'm thinking the very first link is going to come up out of my Amazon Web Service category over here. And notice it's called AWS Global Infrastructure. Check this post out because I give you all kinds of interesting facts that I learned at the recent AWS reInvent conference in Las Vegas about this global infrastructure. I think you're going to love this article. So remember, the global infrastructure is going to allow us to take care of the placement of resources so there's the lowest possible latency when our clients are getting stuff from our cloud. And then the other thing we love about it is the redundancy that we get, the fault tolerance that we get, the ability to locate resources that are geographically separate from each other as an additional protection mechanism. I hope you found this nugget informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.